Among all the mysteries in My Hero Academia, few characters embody tragedy, pain, and lost potential more than Tomura Shigaraki, the successor of All for One and the symbol of destruction. Known for his devastating quirk, Decay, Shigaraki has become the face of chaos, an unstoppable force born to erase everything in his path. But what if everything we thought we knew about him was wrong? What if Shigaraki was never meant to be a villain, and his quirk, the very ability that defines his monstrous persona, was never originally his at all? This is the heart of the peaceful quirk theory, a growing fan belief suggesting that Shigaraki once possessed a different, non-destructive quirk, possibly something gentle or creative, before All for One twisted his destiny and replaced it with Decay. Before he became the face of villainy, Shigaraki was known as Tenko Shimura, the grandson of Nana Shimura, All Might's mentor. Born into a strict household, Tenko's early life was defined by emotional neglect and repressed love. His father's hatred of heroes, rooted in being abandoned by Nana, poisoned the household. Tenko grew up craving affection, validation, and understanding, yet was denied all of it. The only warmth he received came from his mother and sister, but even that was overshadowed by the cruelty of his father, who punished any talk of heroes. When Tenko's quirk first manifested, it came with tragedy, the accidental death of his dog, followed by his family, all crumbling into dust under his trembling hands. But the question many fans now ask is, was that truly his original quirk, or was something changed before that moment? All for One is notorious for stealing, altering, and transferring quirks. He has built an empire on manipulating people's powers and destinies for his own agenda. When he found Tenko, traumatized, quirkless, or believed to be, and alone, he adopted him, shaping him into a weapon of hatred. This raises a haunting possibility. What if All for One didn't just manipulate Shigaraki's mind, but tampered with his body and quirk? The theory argues that Shigaraki's decay was implanted into him, replacing or merging with his true quirk. If Tenko originally had a peaceful or creation-based ability, perhaps something connected to restoration, growth, or protection, then forcing decay onto him would be the ultimate symbolic act, turning a gift of life into an engine of death. Imagine a child who could once create or heal, now only capable of destroying. That psychological inversion perfectly matches Shigaraki's transformation, from a boy seeking love to a man embodying hatred. There is evidence that supports this possibility. All for One's experiments with quirk fusion and transfer are canon, and the Nomu are proof that quirks can be altered and recombined. It's plausible that he re-engineered Tenko's DNA, erasing his original quirk and replacing it with decay, something more useful for a successor of destruction. The very nature of decay also feels unnaturally violent. Unlike most quirks, which can be controlled or trained gradually, decay activated with catastrophic results, killing everything Tenko loved instantly. This violent onset hints that the power wasn't naturally compatible with his emotions or body, consistent with an artificial implant. All for One also deliberately renamed Tenko, stripped him of identity, and molded him to hate society. If he took away Tenko's peaceful quirk too, it completes the process of dehumanization, making him entirely dependent on All for One for purpose and power. The symbolism fits perfectly. My Hero Academia thrives on dualities. If Tenko's original quirk represented life or creation, its loss and replacement with decay would symbolize the corruption of innocence, the transformation of a loving child into a tool of destruction. If this theory is true, it reframes Shigaraki not as a born destroyer, but as a stolen soul, a boy whose gift was turned into a curse. Every act of destruction he commits becomes not just villainy, but a cry of pain, an unconscious rebellion against what was done to him. His decay could represent the outward manifestation of his internal collapse, his decaying sense of self. This makes his potential redemption arc far more powerful. If his true quirk still exists somewhere deep inside him, dormant, suppressed, or erased, it could symbolize the last fragment of humanity within him. A future where he reclaims that original Quirk would represent rebirth, healing, and the restoration of everything he lost: his name, his identity, and his soul. Izuku Midoriya and Tomura Shigaraki are two sides of the same coin. Both inherited the wills of legendary figures. Both were once powerless, and both were shaped by society. If Deku's story is about inheriting hope, Shigaraki's is about being robbed of it. If Deku's power represents unity and growth, Shigaraki's decay represents isolation and collapse. But if Shigaraki once had a peaceful or creative quirk, then the two may have started from the same emotional root: the desire to save others. Their stories would mirror each other perfectly. One nurtured into a hero, the other twisted into a monster. As the series nears its conclusion, we've seen moments where Shigaraki's old self, the boy named Tenko, tries to resurface. Flashes of memory, moments of regret, and glimpses of conflict suggest that he's not entirely lost. If All for One's control is broken and Shigaraki regains his original quirk, or even a memory of it, it could symbolize the ultimate act of redemption, not just defeating evil, but restoring humanity. The peaceful quirk theory turns Shigaraki's story into something more profound than mere villainy. It becomes a tragedy about manipulation, loss, and identity. Whether true or not, it resonates deeply with the central theme of My Hero Academia. Evil isn't born, it's created. And even the most broken souls can find their way back to light. If Shigaraki ever rediscovers the gentle heart of Tenko Shimura, he might not just destroy the old world. He might rebuild it.